Hey everybody, just Jesse here, welcoming you back into my garage, my man cave for another day of accountability. I hope you guys are doing well with yours. Today is Friday, December 18th, the year 2020, and I read through 1 Corinthians 14 today. Now, 1 Corinthians 14 has to deal with organization and how leaders organize so they don't have to agonize. Have you ever seen one of those churches where a pastor's jumping around on stage, pushing people down, saying things like, "Oh, you're healed," whatever that's going on with your life, God heals you, and he pushes them over. Yes. Enter the televangelist. I think of these churches a lot when I read 1 Corinthians 14. You see, Paul wrote this section for the church in Corinth because it was in utter chaos. Much like that televangelistic church, the Corinthians were abusing their gifts. They were calling attention to themselves rather than to Christ. Now, as a leader, Paul recognized that, and he knew that he had to change that. So he wrote this letter to them about that. 1 Corinthians 14:40 even talks about it. Says, urges those people to do everything in a fitting and orderly way. So what can we learn about organization from this chapter? Well, things that we can learn are that we can identify and pursue our top priorities. Verse 1 talks about that. Verses 2 through 12 come together and they talk about how we are to seek to practice what will benefit the most people. We need to identify and pursue our top priorities. For number one, really, we have to understand what our priorities are. Then we have to practice what other people need. See a need, fill a need. Third, we see that we're supposed to communicate clearly. That is a big one. You have to be able to know how to talk to the people that you're trying to reach. We can see that in verse 7 and 8. And then Paul really has just the eyes of an outsider when he writes this. And so he asks them, verses 23 through 25, to see things through the eyes of an outsider. Because if everybody's already in the church that already knows what's going on, they're going to get it. But for those people that are new, that aren't used to seeing this, if they go in there and they see all these people flailing around, and here they're talking about speaking in tongues, speaking a language that isn't known to them, the new people are going to think, man, these people are crazy. I don't ever want to go there. I don't ever want to be, crazy like them. So see things through the eyes of an outsider. Next, we see that things that we're supposed to learn from organization have to deal with order our activities simply for the purpose of adding value to others. We're supposed to be adding value to others every single day. Now, we're not supposed to do things like the way that Paul's talking about, speaking in tongues or prophesying, or just the other things that are in the Bible, that we're supposed to be doing these things in retrospect to God's glory. And when God asks us to move, of course, we're supposed to move on that. But if, say, God asks us to speak in tongues, he's not just going to let us speak in tongues and not have somebody there that can translate. There's got to be somebody there that can translate. And Paul really outlines that, like, order your activities simply for the purpose of adding value to others. Lastly, we see that Paul really tells them to make sure everything is done in an appropriate manner. That's 1 Corinthians 14:40. Do everything in a fitting and orderly way. Make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, and don't jump ahead and say, look what I can do, look what I can do, look what I can do, because it's not about what you can do. You can do nothing without Christ. I can do nothing without Christ. Look what God can do. That's what we need to be saying every day of our lives. Look what God can do. Look what he has done in my life. I know that he can do something in yours. These are all just things that we can use to organize our life around. If we want to be the best leaders that we can be, we really need to take into consideration 1 Corinthians 14. I dare you to read it. I know that there are 40 verses in this chapter, and everything builds upon itself. It's really a good read. So that is something that I challenge you to do. I also challenge you to figure out what your purpose and what your priorities are. That's number one. You identify those and then you pursue those priorities. Thank you guys for hanging out with me again. I know that times can be rough, and I know that not every day do you want to go out and speak Jesus' name, although we should. We are human, and while that's not a crutch or an excuse, things happen. But what we need to do is get up every day, be thankful to God for another day, and we need to go out and celebrate what God's done for us by sharing what He's done for us. So if you know somebody that's just dealing with some of these issues that we've talked about in 1 Corinthians 14, go ahead and get this video to them. Let them know that you're thinking about them. Let them know that you care. Let them know that they're not alone. And just reach out. Be a brother, be a sister, be a mom, dad, sister, brother, uncle, aunt, grandma, grandpa. Just add value to others. So if you don't know what this video is about by now, or if you're new to my video is just an outward showing of me being really wanting to get into God's Word every day. I want to be accountable and staying there. I want to read the Bible every day, and I've challenged myself to do so. This year I've done better than the last handful of years and staying in God's Word, but I haven't been 100%. So there's still room to grow. But that's what this video is. This video is just things that I've learned from what I read through the section that I read through that day. So I hope that you guys like, comment, subscribe. I would love to hear from you guys. I would love to talk back to you guys. So leave me some comments, subscribe. I would love to see you guys become friends and family of mine. So just reach out, and if you ever need help, you can reach out to me on social media. You can find all that in the link below. So all right guys, have a good day. As always, be safe, go and grow. God bless.